Heather Cherone, my mom. What's your job?
I'm a politics reporter for WTTW, which is the PBS affiliate in Chicago.
What's the best part about being a journalist?
That I get to ask the people who make the rules and spend our tax dollars pretty much whatever I want, and they, a lot of times, have to give me at least some kind of answer.
That's pretty great. How did you find your way to that job? What made you want to become a journalist?
Well, I grew up reading the Chicago Tribune and the Chicago Sun-Times and watching television news, so it was something I always wanted to do, and I was really fascinated by Chicago politics, and so I went to college to study journalism and then eventually made my way to WTTW.
Great. Were there any people that influenced that decision to become a journalist?
So Carol Maureen was one of the anchors for the NBC affiliate in Chicago when I was growing up, and I watched her all the time, and she was really inspiring. I also watched people like Tom Brokaw and Dan Rather, and I read great journalism by people like Pam Zeckman and Fran Spielman in the Sun-Times. So there were a lot of people who influenced me.
Thanks. Uh, what have you accomplished so far, as a journalist, that makes you the proudest?
Well, I'm pretty proud of the work I'm doing now, covering the mayoral election going on right now. And I am always proud when somebody tells me that one of my stories told them something they didn't know or helped them make a better decision, because really my job is to give people information and then they get to make a decision. That's what living in a democracy is all about.
Great. What are you currently working on right now?
So right now I'm covering the election for mayor and the election for all 50 city council members, and they'll be in office for the next 4 years. So that is a pretty big deal. But I'm also covering city government, because even though there's an election going on right now, the city government is still churning away.
Out of all of the jobs you've had, which one has stood out to you as your favorite?
I think working for WTTW is my favorite, because I get to do sort of what I always dreamed of doing, covering a mayoral election, and it's a really great place to work.
Great. Are there any important lessons you learned?
You've got to be pretty tough, because sometimes you write things that, even though they're true, they make people really mad, so you've got to be prepared to withstand criticism, and you have to be open to feedback. Sometimes you're not going to get it right. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, and sometimes you're going to miss the story that's right in front of you. So it's just tough to sort of bounce back from that, but that's what being a professional journalist is all about.
Has your life been different from what you imagined?
I think it's probably better than I ever imagined. Some kids wanted to be an astronaut, some kids wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be a journalist covering Chicago City Hall. So every day I'm sort of amazed that it's something that I get to do. And that's really, really fantastic.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. What advice do you have for any students my age?
To lean into what you enjoy, and that you can't do everything because you would literally die, but if you enjoy doing something, give it your all, and try not to worry too much about how it will all work out in the end, because the race is long, and try not to compare yourself to other people. That's good advice too.
Any advice for anyone who specifically wants to become a journalist?
Well, then they should be reading and watching all of the journalism that they can, good journalism, and they should try writing journalism. If they can write for a website or their local paper, that's a great experience. And then, of course, try to take journalism classes in school and see if they like it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for letting me interview you.
You're welcome.